So, episode 4, the Betcha Snatcher.
3 projects have been canceled in the past 2 years.
Oh, okay,
you
so
know what I mean?
remember the big thing from the trailer was Ventress, and we're 3 episodes in, haven't seen her. Exciting Duel of the Fans content.
Another round of Bad Batch.
So tonight we, so originally 3 episodes were released. We did our first episode as initial reaction, and we did episodes 2 and 3 because we kind of wanted to get caught up and felt that maybe they wanted us to watch all 3 episodes as like a starting point.
Yeah.
I think it certainly picks up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe like you said, they were waiting for episode 3 to give us that hook.
Yeah.
Because at the end of episode 3, there's a pretty cool scene there.
Yeah, it's
So the Emperor comes to whatever planet they're on, where Amigo is staying, and
Tannis.
clearly there's clones in these cells in this like Sith temple looking base, which looked super cool that you pointed out.
Super Sith vibes, eh? From like the writing on the floor, the glyphs, the colors, and all that.
And then clearly there's some sort of is that Snoke? What are our predictions here, Ryan?
They've outright said Project Necromancer.
So what's that mean?
They said that in The Mandalorian. I think that's the project essentially for the Emperor's rebirth. So we had kind of speculated, and I think everyone had, that like the M count referred to midichlorian count. So they were trying to make clones that had high midichlorian counts that weren't diminished through the cloning process. So that's the big thing that Nala Se is trying to clone something with force powers. So there's this Hemlock guy who is, I guess, doing it.
The main scientist.
Yeah, he's got some sort of experiment, and he said like creatures and stuff too. So I don't even know if those are humans in those tanks. Like we might see like some, like
other beings that could hold the M count, maybe.
I don't know.
So why is Omega force sensitive? Yeah,
so that's the big reveal. That the big reveal is that she has a high M count. So her and Crossers escaped the facility. Cool, whatever. So enthusiastic. No, it wasn't bad. Like it works. We've seen. I think like the Kenobi escape from the base was worse. You know what I mean? So it was like a good escape. They get out. They're being shot at, and they're like, "Let them escape." It turns out she's a successful M count clone or whatever.
Yeah,
and they just let her go.
Which is weird because you think they'd like get a tracker on them, or
you'd think they just wouldn't leave them.
Yeah, don't follow. Just follow.
I would think those V-wings have hyperspace or like capabilities.
Even if they don't, send a ship out there ASAP. Like,
yeah,
you've got tons of resources at the tip of your fingers. The Emperor literally just said, anything you want, it's yours.
There's got to be a patrol, whatever.
There's no way.
I know we're trying to put logic where it's not due.
But anyways, Omega has midichlorian count. From where? She is a clone of Jango, correct?
Yeah, she's a female clone of Jango.
So Jango is, Jango's a male. So clearly they're doing scientific altering on the DNA or something.
So they've just.
But where do they get midichlorians? To just, dash of that in there? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. Like, would they have anyone's blood or anything? Well, they would have like everything from the Jedi temples. So I'm assuming that like they would have like DNA and profile.
But wouldn't Omega have been born before that?
Before
the fall of the Empire or the Jedi Council?
But because like all that stuff is there, like maybe at some point some of it was stolen, or maybe it was taken like from dead Jedi.
Do you think we're going to get an explanation on why she has midichlorians?
I think absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's the whole reveal. I made a weird comment, like just kind of in passing, and I was like, are they setting her up to be something bigger? Like a force-sensitive user?
You said Mara Jade.
Like the equivalent of that. You know what I mean? Like someone that like we're going to run into in these later series down the road that's like an adult, like Omega, and she's like some force-wielding clone. Like
she's going to beat up Luke, send him into hermit mode.
Oh, going to change the outcome.
Yeah, I'm still not overly intrigued. Honestly, I'd rather just watch a breakdown at the end to see what happened. Best moments kind of thing.
It kind of goes back to what we said a few times. Just it's a little bit drawn out. So there are some cool elements, like we get right into it with the clones right away. them doing a job, like they're really pushing the Pike Syndicate, them doing a job to get information to go find something, just cut all that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need to see the Pike Syndicate stuff. Like
the vines were cool on episode 1.
So no, that's episode
2.
Yeah.
The vines are cool. They reminded me of part of a book. I think it's from Lords of the Sith, where Palpatine and Vader have to go to a planet, and there's these bugs that, like, when they hit you, they become like a concrete. So they ended up putting up quite the match for Palpatine and Vader, and I was like, they seemed kind of like they took inspiration from that. So, like, the vines I thought were pretty cool.
I thought that whole aspect that, like, okay, it's a big universe. They are doing like scientific experiments, and like the Force is only so strong. Palpatine's trying to create some weapons that, like, he doesn't have to use the Force, or like, you could pacify an entire planet world that has, like, a forest system. You drop this slither vine in, and, like, okay, they're all dead.
Imagine dropping that on, like, Naboo.
That's what it's done.
Dagobah.
I think there's some neat elements with it. Like the little, like, they almost look like head crabs.
Mm-hmm.
The little parts of it. And
you ever played Half-Life?
Yeah.
Like Half-Life.
That's it. They look like that. The head crabs there. Or kind of like the Flood from Halo.
Yeah.
And then the actual mouth kind of looked like a Sarlacc pit with all those teeth, like the very gnarly.
If that wasn't a Sarlacc pit, I'm like, what the hell was that?
Some similar species. I bet you it's in there. They find some clone recruits. He says he drops them off on the island with the other clones. So he's just building a clone refugee island. Like, there's some,
that
like,
could be cool.
Fun stories, but, like, I just feel like it does kind of draw on. Like, we're 3 episodes in, and, like, you're kind of getting the gist of it. So we've said this. They released all 3 because they want you to watch all 3, but just condense it down. Mm-hmm. So one episode tells us that, like, she has a high midichlorian count. She escapes with crosshairs. Wrecker and Hunter are looking for her. Like, just give me the,
The second episode felt very boring compared to the third.
The third certainly picked up, and that's why I think they released all 3, that it was like, okay.
We should have just honestly started with the third. You know what I mean? Like,
we've skipped enough of this. Like,
what did we get in the first 2? Like, you could have just did Omega in the first day with the notch, creating the notch, and then boom, 120 days later.
That's what I mean. Like, the whole subplot with, like, Batcher and stuff. Like, where is that going? Yeah, she rescues him at the end, and, like, the creature rescues her. She rescues the creature. Like, whatever. Just give us the story. I don't need so much filler. We always go back to season 7 of Clone Wars. Like, yeah, there's some great stuff in there, but, like, there's also, like, some
2/3 of it were filler.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's getting better.
Is it?
Yeah.
If we weren't recapping it right now, would you be watching it?
No. I mean, I stopped watching season 2 for whatever reason. It wasn't.
Now, if you saw on Facebook, like, we got a big scene with the Emperor and, like, this temple, would that intrigue you to watch it?
I mean, like, they used the voice of the real Emperor, or I guess, like, the actor, I should say. I mean, like, they're trying their best now, but it's still like, you're giving me too much. Just the nitty gritty. Like, you know what I mean? Could have had the Emperor, like, just show up really quick. He's the explanation. He's, like, the dialogue starts everything so the audience gets it, but, like, we're moving through the story at a faster pace. So,
because I don't know, like, I'm like, if I saw that, it still doesn't really intrigue. Like, I would just go watch best moments. But, like, think about Clone Wars season 7. If you saw Anakin on that bridge with all those blaster fires coming over and him dodging them, you'd be like, oh, I got to go check that out. Or Ahsoka versus Maul, you'd be like, oh, I got to go check that out.
Yeah.
Right? Where, like, this, it's not very, like, nothing, no clip. There's no clip yet. There's not, like, I haven't been able to find one thing that I'm like, oh, we should clip that into a short.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Remember the big thing from the trailer was Ventress, and we're 3 episodes in, haven't seen her.
Oh, yeah.
Is she probably going to be in this 4th one?
She's supposed to be dead.
I don't know, we're going circles. Totally my fault. I still don't know where Tech is. Like, I thought, was he not with the team? Oh, sorry. Tech is dead. Echo. Where's Echo?
Please inform us.
Because I can't be bothered to read the Wikipedia page. So fans, thank you. No, seriously, like.
Yeah. I don't think we have too much other stuff to talk about, but you just sent me an article the Mandalorian game.
Yeah, just as we're watching it tonight, so there was a Mandalorian first-person shooter.
I'm not even surprised, bro.
Star Wars video
How many
games
projects have been canceled in the past 2 years?
Okay, so
like probably as many as have come out.
You know what? We talked a little bit in passing about the remaster of the the collection for the Battlefront games. They're talking about, like, I think they missed some opportunity there. They're not cross compatible, and they're not like compatible if you had the older game. Like, even though these are just like like, and I understand like technical application or technical specification, like change and stuff, but this shouldn't.
You tell me we can't make it cross compatible,
and this shouldn't be a full pop game. Like, this should not be.
I can play Minecraft on my phone and connect to people on PC,
right?
Like,
so you have them doing stuff like that, but then they just did a remaster of Dark Forces.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the gameplay footage and stuff?
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Like, it's a proper remaster. Like, they redid all the sprites from hand up, and it doesn't. You don't realize it until you look at footage of the old one, and it's funny. There's something about the game where, like, it looks like how I thought it used to look, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So the graphics are good, like really clean. Then you go back and watch the old ones, you're like, these are terrible.
Yeah.
Back then you thought they were great.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really good like remaster. Like from the gameplay that I've seen and like what I've watched. And like, like, if it's on sale, like I'd grab it and I'd love to play through it again. But the golden days of Star Wars video games are like long behind us.
Oh, 100%.
They
Especially now the fact that they can't get a damn game out.
I think it's a sign of like video gaming in general, though. Like the industry is suffering. Like, there's a lot of repetitive stuff. You don't get the innovation. It's so expensive to manufacture games, especially for these newer consoles. Every time you get a new console, like, it costs more money to develop.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the fans are willing to pay for it if it's a good game.
But how do you?
Millions of Star Wars fans are about to buy Battlefront 1 and 2 again for $50, and all they
people love the Jedi Survivor games. I mean, you know, those are.
But even them, like, they're not as good as like what we've kind of been promised with, like, remember 1313 or what that was supposed to be?
The Underworld one, that was supposed to be really cool.
This Mandalorian one looks friggin' amazing. Like,
now, what was what's the other one that they're working on right now, where you're like that young female with the creature and like.
Outlaws.
Yeah, that one. And then there was that one that's like a battle royale kind of. No, not a battle royale game. It would be like an Overwatch, like a hero game. Star Wars Galaxy, Star Wars something where it's like your specific heroes. You're like a Wookiee Jedi, or you're a droid. This, that was supposed.
Remember the Carter remake we were supposed to get?
Yeah, that died. Like
there was a flying one we were supposed to get too. Then there's Rogue Squadron.
How we just make stuff if it's good?
That's what I'm saying.
Not just because we have to.
But you know what we're getting? Right, you want to know what we're getting? Season 3 of The Bad Batch and Season 2 of Andor. Because, you know.
I'm so excited for Season 2 of Andor. And Colin doesn't know it. I think it's going to be our most successful episode yet, where we do a watch party. And you get to experience Andor. And then you're going to come back. We're going to cut this clip here. And you're going to love it. You're going to be like, I take it back. It's a good show. Unlike Bad Batch. Anyways, yeah, so that's it. So episodes 2 and 3. In
the bag.
It's getting better.
Let's watch episode 3 and
or 4 here. Back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's get 4, get caught up, and let's see what the season hasn't touched.
So we watched 2 and 3. Now we've watched 4.
So episode 4. The Betcha Snatcher.
That's the best name this could possibly be. So you got Omega and Crosshair on a new planet that they crash landed on, pulling some absolute bullcrap out of their nonsense there.
I think you could write this stuff better. I'm not a writer, but I feel like these stories could be better written.
She's like, I'm going to hustle these top gamblers, locals in this bar with nothing. So she goes to the table. Buddy doesn't even ask. He just puts in a bet that's clearly pretty big on this 10-year-old or whatever's nothing. Hard to believe.
And I thought the whole point was that she was going to show that she had some way to be hustling them. And I thought it may play into like, okay, so we're talking that she has midichlorian counts. She could be force sensitive. It could have been something where she just like, oh, I know what the card he's going to play.
Yeah.
like just something unexplained where she just like, I just know what was happening. There was no explanation. Somehow she just won 30,000 or 45,000 credits and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So she won those credits so then she could go buy 2 tickets off world, and then like how did we end up getting off world?
We just stole a ship, an Imperial ship, like it was nothing.
See what I mean about like the filler? You know what I mean?
And we kind of mentioned this too, like what would you put in Earth's equivalent to an Imperial starship? What would you put it that as equivalent?
Well,
Like, would you do like a Tahoe, an Army's Humvee? Like what's the equivalent?
I would
because
think,
none of those are going to be easily stolen by a 12-year-old.
Right? Like, I think like land speeders would be like the equivalent of owning a car. I think like owning a ship is like, it's huge. It's monumental.
A tank, an airplane.
Yeah, I would think you'd have some sort of security that like your ship just can't be like, oh, someone just my ship. Like,
yeah, a 10-year-old. How old is Omega? If anyone knows, please leave it in the comments.
Again, we should probably check the wiki, but it's better when you guys tell us.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, so there's the plausibility, suspend your disbelief. It's still just kind of like weirdly written. Like they find clothes on a clothing hanger that's like exactly fits a young girl and a man. Whatever.
Yeah, that was
So again, a lot of
the more we break this down, the more I'm like, man, that was crap.
But like it was entertaining to watch, and the finale there, that reveal where like she's reunited, like that was touching, and like the Bad Batch theme plays and stuff, and then Rika and Hunter are confronted with crosshairs, and it's like, ooh, like
it's the first time they've tried to hook us.
Yeah, and so that one worked. So that one was like, okay, great, can't wait for the next one. Let's see what the reunion's like. So
love at the beginning of this episode, we were like, screw this sucked, and now we're like, oh, we can do next week.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. It's still
how many episodes? 12.
I mean, like, look at the Clone Wars TV show. Like, there are seasons that are bad.
Mm-hmm.
That are just like kind of a slog to get through. This isn't the worst thing, but I feel like the entertaining facts and the stuff I want to watch is just so drowned out by mundane, like, being there, done that. Like, I don't need to watch someone like get off planet again, like just very haphazardly like that. Like, I don't know. I
would like some thought to and like care to be put into it. I don't want to be watching Star Wars: The Backyardigans. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's not what I'm here for. Like, I would like some decent plot. You know what I mean? Like, the more we break this episode down, the more I'm like, yeah, that was literally a child's TV show, just like with no effort put in.
And I always hate when they get into like they write these scenes where it's like the standoff, where they're surrounded and it's like there's nothing you can do, and then I love Crosshair's first shot misses, and you're like,
no,
that's his thing. I did kind of like the villain, that Imperial kind of like crime boss.
Yeah,
he was kind of cool. He just seemed like a slimy piece of shit. I mean, we don't get enough like just Imperial officers that are just like, hey, I'm Fred. How's it going? Like, just like cheery and like, hey, I'm just trying to do right by the Empire and trying to, you know what I mean? Like, every one of them is just such a scuzzy piece of like crap that you're like, yeah, great. Like, shoot him, kill him, burn him, do something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do good at that for sure.
He was just shy of like strangling a baby on screen and like twirling a mustache.
Omega risked everything for this dog.
The betcha. The betcha.
Man.
Yeah, the betcha snitcha.
Email us clips of you doing your best Omega impression. How funny of a short that would be.
Okay, so speculation. What do we think is going to happen?
I think Hunter and Wrecker are going to get along with Crosshair just fine. No problems there.
I think there's going to be a little bit of...
They're going to be like, oh, you're an ass. And the other guy's going to be like, yeah, well, listen, things happen, bud.
Do they bond over Tech's death?
Maybe. I brought your Omega back. You got to love me now. Right? Come on. Like,
they're one big happy
family. Who cares I hunted you guys for 2 seasons?
Right?
I don't even know did he kill Tech? Was it his fault Tech died?
Probably, just in some indirect way. So we said 12 episodes in this season, we think. So we're a quarter of the way through, and I'm pretty sure we've seen not very much from the trailers, like when it comes to like the action pieces. So maybe it really.
You said Ventress is supposed to be in this, right?
She's in the trailer. That's what everyone lost their mind over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speculation. Maybe is Ventress a clone?
No.
Because they're doing all this cloning stuff. Like, is she an attempt?
No. I'll be very mad if they do that.
And like, that's a clone of her with like lesser abilities and like, or lesser. I don't know.
Oh, you mean a clone of Ventress?
Yeah.
Possibly.
You know, it's one of the tools.
I thought you were saying like, you imagine if Ventress was one of these clones.
Oh yeah, no.
I was like, I would hate that.
Yeah, I still don't know what's going to happen with, you know, Omega here and what the reveal is. You know, like, where do we go at the end of the season? Like, or the end of this season, the show. Like, do you tie up everything? Like, or do you have to essentially kill off Wrecker and Hunter? Or, like, do you leave them in the galaxy, like, just doing their own thing? What about Omega? Like, she just leaves? Well, she plays such a bigger part now. She's connected in such a bigger way that, like, she's always going to have some level of importance.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Grogu. It's like once he's out there, like, the Empire always wants him. So, anyways, I think it's better. This one wasn't the best we watched so far. This one had the best hook. But
it's funny you say that because, like, I'm like, Grogu is literally Omega, and Mando is literally Hunter.
And we even said that like there's elements of like Mando design in Wrecker's costume now, and then like some of the Mando, like the leather belts, the metal caps, like, you know what I mean. It's more prominent.
It's like they have one motto.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like just like a running thing for like movies and stuff now. Like a person looking after a younger.
That's the fad.
That's it. You know what I mean? Last of Us, Mandalorian, like must protect.
I guess.
So, yeah, I don't know. Not the worst one, not the best one. So it's getting better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Let us know your predictions in the comments.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, you're the best.
We really appreciate it. We want to know how you guys feel. We're 4 episodes in, so everyone should be caught up right now. Right. So thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate all the comments, the feedback. We do this because we enjoy discussing with people, fans that we come across. So we really want to engage with you guys more. So yeah, leave us some feedback. Let us know what you want to hear, what your thoughts were, and
if you want us to do a live stream, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that could be fun.
Yeah, you can watch Colin and I suffer in real time. Anyways, till next time, thanks for joining us.
May the force be with you.